essentially said that this is the only way, this will be the only way to prove you have legal identity. And so if you don't participate in that system, as far as the state or the, the private sector is concerned, you don't exist. So by not participating in that system, you're inherently excluded from the economic system and really essentially everything. It's going to be a problem, reaction, solution type of situation where they've already made the solution. They've already developed what they want to be the new financial governance system after this new Bretton Woods moment. They just need some sort of big event on the scale of World War II or some large event that's equally disruptive in order to be like, all right, now it's time for a new financial governance system.
About a year ago, while speaking at the Global Finance Summit in Paris, French President Emmanuel Macron said the world needs a public financial shock to fight global warming. Around the same time, World Economic Forum founder and executive chairman Klaus Schwab also made a similar statement about revamping the global economy. In his words, every country from the United States to China must participate, and every industry from oil and gas to tech must be transformed. We need a great reset of capitalism, Schwab added in an article published on the non-governmental organization's website. According to popular investigative journalist Whitney Webb, what we are witnessing is the birth of a new international monetary system, a replacement for the current Bretton Woods system built solely on the blockchain to aid the complete surveillance and censorship of every aspect of our lives. Whitney's warnings are based on the words of several global elites and WEF puppets like Macron, as well as the words of Mark Carney, former governor of the Bank of England and Bank of Canada, and the UN Special Envoy for Climate Action and Finance, who said the three pillars of the New World Order are digital IDs, CBDCs, and ESG. In a recent discussion with Mark Goodwin, writer and editor-in-chief at Bitcoin Magazine, Whitney warns that all world governments are pushing this New World Order agenda, proudly sponsored by the ultra-rich and powerful, including Silicon Valley executives like Larry Fink, who wants to tokenize all existing assets and commodities, as well as the natural world. Whitney warns that from forests to rivers, mountains, and lakes, everything will soon become a commodity, owned and traded by the super rich and powerful to make them even stronger and move them closer to their goal of completely dominating the rest of us. During the conversation with Goodwin, Whitney discusses two important parts of the New World Order plans: digital IDs and natural world tokenization, warning that Schwab, Fink, and useful puppets like Macron are on the verge of achieving their grand plans and how disastrous that would be for us all. As we bring you clips from the video, please take a little time to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos like this. Everything you do helps with the YouTube algorithm and immensely contributes to the channel's growth. Thank you, and enjoy the video.
In this context, I think the digital ID is a key enabler of the surveillance, knowing what everyone is doing at the transactional.
Yep. In the famous words of Morpheus in the Matrix series, I believe the first one, he said, "You are a slave, Neo. You were born into bondage." See, this is something you have to come to terms with. You were born a slave. Your parents were slaves. In terms of contracts that were signed, right? Things like birth certificates, social security numbers, kind of like contractual slaves, having all this driver's license, all these things, even, working yourself to the bone, 9 to 5, all of these things accumulate to the fact that you were born a slave. Now, they are trying to take it a step further to make you a digital slave. See, there's a reason why they are pushing that digital identity. It will make everything very easy for them. They can just quickly take you off the grid. Either don't like you if you are trying to oppose the agendas of the globalists, the powers that shouldn't be. They will quickly turn you off, right? there was a clip where Alex Jones was interviewing a guy named, what is his name? Alan Russo, right? And he talked about how the banking families, what they're trying to do is to electronically tag every man, woman, and child. Why? For total control. So if they can tag you like that, they have, your digital identity is part of that, right? Your CBDCs, your financial aspect of life is part of that. How you buy, sell, how you, transaction in general is all part of that. It's all linked in. You can't forget your net zero carbon, your carbon emissions, right? They got to track that. They got to track your, how many jabby jabs you got. They got to track that also. You see? So this is a part of this digital concentration camps that they've been building for a while now. So they're ready to go full steam ahead with this whole agenda. And you have to be aware of this. See, one of the things the guy that was narrating the clip we just saw, he kept talking about the warning this lady you're looking at here has been given in terms of, what the globalists are doing, this banking families, what they're all about, how they're trying to further enslave you with this whole digital scenario, which is the fourth industrial revolution. So they're going to try to merge you with internet. And once they do that, you cannot escape. There's nowhere you can hide. Already they're doing it in a low level with your phones. Practically everybody got their phones with them. So they keep tabs on you like that. But you can, turn off locations. You can try to circumvent that in one way, shape, or form. But once they put that thing inside of you, this electronic tag inside of you, there's no way to circumvent that. They will know everything you're doing. If you fart, they know about it, right? Anything. And now with the neural link also, they put that in your head. You can imagine the kind of madness that will go down with that one. They can be able to read your thoughts. Not only that, they'll probably be able to beam thoughts into your head. They used to have that technology where, what did they call it? I believe Bill Gates was part of that also. They're talking about how they can isolate people that are into religious inclined people and make you forget about your religion. They can isolate some genes, your God gene, something like that, VMAT2 gene, I believe that was what it was called. And they can make you forget that you were, so-called Christian, or you are into godly things. They can do that. You see? So once you allow them access into your body like that, I mean, your guess is as good as mine how far they will go with that. You see? This is why a lot of warnings have gone out. So it behooves you to take all of this thing seriously, man, right? I mean, it sounds so far-fetched in most cases. It sounds so sci-fi in most cases. There was I can't remember who made their statements like, he was telling Bill Gates that they're making it harder to write science fiction novels or make science fiction movies because all of this science fiction stuff have become reality. Well, that's where we at, right? A lot of the things you think is just fiction are becoming reality. This is the world we live in, right? Robots and AI just going crazy. You see, there was once a time there used to be science fiction. Now it's right in your face. Which brings us here real quick. We'll come back to the clip. In Jeremiah, the 6th chapter and the 10th verse, it says, "To whom shall I speak and give warning, that they may hear? Behold, their ear is uncircumcised, and they cannot hearken. Behold, the word of the Lord is unto them a reproach. They have no delight in it. All praises to the Most High, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahakudash. Double honors to apostles and elders of Great Millstone who taught us this truth and continue to teach us this truth. Peace, salutation, shalom, shalom, shalom to all you brothers and sisters out there that are of the household of faith, the hopeful elect, starting from the 144,000 mighty men of the house of Israel, down to the men, women, and children that are allotted to be delivered in these latter days who are of the elect, and to the brothers that are preaching this gospel in truth and in sincerity. To you, I say shalom. Right? I was just watching that clip. I'm like, man, see how far we've come. We've come so far in this whole agenda. To the point where any minute now, Skynet will come online, right? Skynet will come online, and you will be required to be to take part in this digital revolution, this new age movement. And that new age, like that old song, welcome to the new age, welcome to the new age, radioactive radio, you see? So that's a new age that we are going, this digital new age where everybody will be required to be a part of that, which ties into the reduced, Georgia Guidestone to maintain humanity under 500 million, because it's going to be so hard to keep tabs on 8 billion people on the planet that it is, almost 9 billion people, right? It's too much information, too much data, right? So to make it easy on themselves and the AI they will use to do that, they have to reduce their population. It makes it easier to control. It's harder to control a lot of people, right? It's very, very much harder to control a lot of people, but it's easier to control a reduced population. You see, that's how they're trying to do it. So the warning is going forth. The warning has been going forth. So you have no excuse to say, oh, I didn't know, I didn't hear. Now you just chose to be willfully ignorant. You didn't want to pay attention and to take heed and move accordingly. This is why I had to pull the scripture out in Jeremiah, the 6th chapter, and the 10th verse, that's telling you here, and to whom shall I speak and give warning, right? Because one of the reoccurring words the narrator, the clip it just saw, was saying is the warning the lady was dropping, right? And there are a lot of people out there that have been dropping these warnings, man, beginning with the prophets, to the whistleblowers, to the truthers, to, people that just care about truth, right? People that care about exposing evil, right? So a lot of warnings have gone out. But some way, somehow, people would chose to make excuses and just find a reason to just be in darkness, to find excuse to be ignorant. So that's what the scripture is reaffirming here. To whom shall I speak and give warning that they may hear, right? So behold, their ear is uncircumcised. They cannot hearken. In other words, they are spiritually blinded, right? I mean, they hear you. It goes in one ear, out the other. They hear everything you're saying, but they cannot put it in motion, put it in practice, put it in works, right? Because to them, it's like, I don't heard of that before, right? Well, you don't want to be caught with your pants down. That's how a lot of people are going to be caught with their pants down. Because the global elites, the wicked elites, which are Edomites, are not going to wait for you, man. You see, they're going full steam ahead with their plans. They're not going to wait for you to catch on, to wake up and smell the coffee, so to speak, right? They're going full steam ahead with their agendas. You see? So the time for you to take warning is now, because very soon, truth is going to be done away with. This is part of the whole digital identity thing, because very soon, if they've labeled you a dissenter, if they've labeled you someone that is always going against the agendas of the global elites, the wicked, the Edomites, guess what? You wouldn't have access to, have a platform to speak your rhetoric, your truth, or whatever it is that you believe in that goes against the agenda, right? Especially to teach the gospel. This is what they're trying to do away with, the gospel and the Constitution, right? They're trying to do away with that. Because once they do, that's why they're trying to take away your guns. They're trying to take away your free speech. They're trying to take away the understanding of the Bible out of the earth, because it goes contrary to all the agendas. And the people that hold these things dear, they're not going to fall victim for that, Lord willing, right? So this is why there's a push for all this total control, push for, they use the guise of hate speech and things of that nature, right? To try to take away your rights. It says, going on, so behold, the word of the Lord is unto them a reproach. They have no delight in it. So a lot of people out there, they don't care about the warnings. They don't care about the truth being preached throughout the four corners of the earth. And guess what? They're going to get caught out there and they will be judged. It will be their own undoing, right? It will be their own undoing. So let's get back to this clip real quick.
Level and being able to tweak that micromanagement based on a person's activity, because the digital ID isn't just limited to the financial system, right? It's like your travel, your health history, your career history, your education credentials, your access to telecommunications, social media, the internet. With the new AI era, right, they can fuse all that data, analyze it, and depending on how they develop that AI algorithm, use it to control people really in unprecedented ways. I think the digital ID and the CBDC and its private sector equivalence project is something that we're always sort of intended to be the same system. So there's documents from the UN, from the BIS, and related groups that are sort of that have been working on this for years. That essentially frame one as essential to the other, using words about, this is inclusionary, the whole, marketing behind digital ID is that everyone needs legal ID because otherwise they're unable to access essential services, right? And so the idea is we all have to be included in the system, and they directly link that to the concept of financial inclusion and banking the unbanked, which you brought up earlier. But inherently these systems actually function in an exclusionary way based on how they've been set up. They have essentially said that this will be the only way to prove you have legal identity, and so if you don't participate in that system, as far as the state or the private sector is concerned, you don't exist. So by not participating in that system, you're inherently excluded from the economic system and really essentially everything. So you have.
Yep, that's what it means. So they sell you all these ideas, all these agendas, with a cloak of maliciousness, right? So they cloak it under convenience, they cloak it under, we're trying to include everybody in this thing, right? Because if you're not part of this thing, you wouldn't know how to function in this society. But in all actuality, they're trying to do away with the dissenters, the so-called bad apples, right? They're trying to exclude you from this system to make life, to make a living hell for you, right? This is where the tribulations that talked about in the scriptures will commence, because a lot of people, you will be excluded from this NWO, this great reset that they're talking about, because after this reset, it will be a whole new system. And for you to participate in that system, you need to be included under the banner of the beast. This is where you get your marker, the beast, from, talked about in the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter and the 16th verse. Here goes your financial aspect of this whole thing, like you heard the lady talk about, just like earlier in the clip, you were trying to marry climate change and finance. It's like, what the hell? What I got to do with anything? Well, it has everything to do with everything. All the disaster they're about to bring upon the earth will lead to this reset, that will bring this digital whole system online. And if you don't accept the mark of the beast, guess what? You will not be a part of the system. You see, you will not be a part of the system. And this brings us to the scripture real quick. In the book of Isaiah 10. This is Isaiah the 10th chapter. The subheading says, Assyria is the Most High's instrument. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. That's exactly what this whole digital agenda is all about, right? Because they're pushing this thing head on, right? All the unrighteous decrees that they put in motions, it becomes part of the society, right? And this digital thing is a part of that. This digital identity, you need to have this digital identity so we can control every aspect of your life, right? And if you don't want to go along with it, we'll make life a living hell for you. You see? So this is that unrighteous decrees. And there's tons of unrighteous decrees. Your taxations, it shouldn't be taxed on something you've already owned, right? These are all unrighteous decrees, and they put it in law, right? It becomes law. It becomes policies. You see, that's what it is. It's nothing but unrighteous decrees. Now they're trying to make it to where, even after giving birth to a baby, a woman is liable to unalive that baby. These are all part of the unrighteous decrees, man. You know, trying to have a young child change their plumbing, change their waterworks, so to speak, from that of a man to that of a woman and vice versa. Just all these things are righteous decrees, and they make it law. They make it okay to do that. But the matter of hand we're talking about right now is this whole digital system, which will bring about your cashless society, which will bring about your social credit score system, another unrighteous decrees, right? UBIs, right, which will lead to you, consenting and bowing the knee to the beast, so he can imprint his mark inside of you to be able to be a part of the system. You have to pledge your allegiance to say, yes, I choose you. So this is why there is no remedy for somebody that takes that mark. The scripture is very clear on that in the Revelation, the 14th chapter. If you do that, you will be destroyed, because that is you making a conscious decision to go with the devil, to go with the beast as your new creator, right? So, going into that is that unrighteous decrees. The second verse, it says to turn aside the needy from judgment and to take away the right from the poor of my people, right? That's what they do. They're trying to take away your rights. Your freedom of speech has been taken away. Your right to bear arms has been taken away, right? A lot of things have been taken away from you. Your constitutions, even your biblical laws to be able to move around on the earth like you're supposed to. All those rights have been taken away from you, right? To be able to eat something that is natural and healthy is being taken away from you. There's no way that we should be eating the crap that we eat, right? The GMO crap and the lab-grown crap, right? But here we are. That it says that widows may be their prey, and they may rob the fatherless, right? A lot of so-called single mothers, they always use them. They prey on them, right? So widows, women without husbands, they prey on them, and they fall victim to all these agendas a lot of the times, and they rob the fatherless, starting with the Israelites. People are quick to say, there's no fathers in the black families and all that. Well, it goes back to the curses that are written in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, right? going on. It says, and what will you do in the day of visitation, in the day of desolation, we shall come from afar. To whom will you flee for help? And where will you leave your glory? So this is a question directed at the globalists, the wicked, which are Edomites that run the whole show, the banking families. So the God of the Bible is asking them a direct question: where will you run? The old bad boy, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Well, what are you gonna do when the King of the universe comes for you? Because he's coming. Make no mistake about it, he is coming to render judgment upon those that have shown no mercy, which are the wicked elites. So when that judgment comes, what are you gonna do? How are you gonna try to escape that? You see? Yeah, man, that's where we are. Let's
To onboard to the surveillance state or be excluded from everything. So it's, being marketed as inclusion, but it's really inherently exclusionary.
How does this system get triggered? How do we move into the Mark Carney-ism?
Well, I think they sort of give it away when they say that this is the new Bretton Woods movement that needs to be seized. So Bretton Woods was what came out of World War II, essentially, and was the creation of a new financial governance system after World War II. And this is essentially an effort to create a new financial governance system that was announced well before any sort of crisis like that, but it's probably going to need a crisis of that level to be implemented and to convince people to onboard at scale. And if you subscribe to the theory that all wars are bankers' wars, which there is plenty of evidence to support that, I would say, that seems to suggest that perhaps, this is the it's going to be a problem reaction solution type of situation where they've already made the solution, they've already developed what they want to be the new financial governance system after this new Bretton Woods moment. They just need some sort of big event on the scale of World War II or some large event that's equally disruptive in order to be like, all right, now it's time for a new financial governance system after this big event like they did after World War II.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
See that? So this is where you get your continuity of government from, right? The phoenix rising from the ashes. Because believe you me, they're about to pull something so big. And I'll actually use the analogy of the World War II. So they're going to put something of that equal scale to shift this whole from the old system to the new system. Like I said, now is the time for this new system. That is the Great Reset. You see? So how are they? They're not just going to wake up one morning and say, oh, okay, we're in the... Nah, they have to pull some event of crazy magnitude, your black swan event, to be like, okay, now we will do this, right? And a lot of people will fall right in line because what they put you through, just like with the whole 2020 thing, right? They scared you into believing that, oh man, we're all about to die, and you gave them your own, right? So they're going to pull, and this time is not just a scam. They will actually pull something that will be so terrifying and so gut-wrenching that a lot of people will break. You see, a lot of people will break. This is why the scripture tells you it is. Prudent. Let's get those real quick and close this out. This is Proverbs, the 22nd chapter and the 3rd verse. It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. So like the term she used, the problem, reaction, solution, which is your Hegelian dialectic, they already have the solution. All they need to do is put the people through the problem, right? They orchestrate the problem, and the people react to the problem, and then they present you with a solution. So what you got to worry about is the problem that they're about to put out there. It's going to be crazy, which is all ties into biblical prophecies about the end days, that all kinds of stuff is going to be going down, right? We're already seeing that. It's going to be on a scale where it would terrify a lot of people. That's why you got to stay prudent, so you don't get caught out there. You got to stay sharp. You know, you got to stay sharp, man, mentally, physically, and spiritually. Most of all, right? You got to stay really, really sharp in these times we're in, so you don't get trodden down and punished for your lack of awareness, so to speak. And with that, all praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodash, double on us to apostles and elders of Great Millstone. See you next time, Lord willing. Shalom. Shalom.